Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a coconut cake. This is not a cake I've done before. This is a cake recipe that was shared to me and I am going to try to make it. For this cake recipe, in here I have 2.5 cups of sifted cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half of a teaspoon of baking soda, and half of a teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to be using 1.5 sticks of softened butter, 1 2/3 cup of sugar, 5 large egg whites, yes, egg whites, and make sure they're at room temperature. Back there I have half of a cup of sour cream, again at room temperature. In here I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, make sure it's good vanilla extract, with 1 teaspoon of coconut extract. That is super important. If you don't have it, you can omit it, but I prefer find it. I'm also going to be using 1 cup of coconut milk and also 1 cup of sweetened shredded coconut. In my mixer, I'm going to add my butter together with my sugar. And we at this point are simply going to cream this mixture together until it is light and creamy. Go slow at first. You do not want sugar all over the place, so it's just slowly and go increasing the speed to about a medium. And let that mix until it is uniform and creamy. At this moment, we're going to stop the machine and we're simply going to get all the sides incorporated inside and then let it mix again for about, let's just say 2 more minutes. So here we go. At this point, we could bring the speed up to about an 8. We're going to lower the temp just a little bit and we're going to start incorporating our egg whites. Let that mix. Just incorporate them. Let this go for just a little bit. But before we do that, let's stop the machine once again because we do want all the egg yolk, all the egg whites. I keep saying egg yolks to get incorporated. I don't know what's with me and the egg yolks today. But you guys get me. When I say egg yolks, I mean egg whites. And now we're going to go ahead and continue mixing until all the egg whites are all incorporated. We're going to lower the speed just a little bit. And we are going to add our sour cream. Our sour cream and our extract. If you look at it, and I'm going to stop the machine just for you to look. If you look really good, it might look like it's a little curdle. It's supposed to look like that, okay? We continue mixing on low speed. On low speed, we're going to start adding our flour. And we're going to add this in 3 batches. So batch number 1. And we're going to add half of our coconut milk. Let it go. Oh, that's going to be so good. We're gonna add our second part. And again, we're gonna finish adding our milk. And we're gonna add our last bit of the flour. Allow this to mix in completely. Let's stop the machine and let's get everything well incorporated before we continue, because we want to make sure that all the flour is incorporated completely into this mixture. That way you get a uniform cake before we add the coconuts. So again, we're going to go ahead and mix it. At this point, you don't want to over mix. We're going to stop the machine and we're going to add our shredded coconut. Yes. Oh my goodness. And again, mix. That's it. Any flour that's left over, we will incorporate using our hands, using our spatula. We do not want to over mix. We want to take the mixture and we're going to take 2 to 3 separate cake pans. Depends how many layers you want to make, and we want to spray them generously. And we're going to divide the mixture between all 3 of them. I'm going to kind of eyeball this. There is a way you can measure it in. That way you make sure that each one of them gets the same amount. But to be honest with you, this is for home. So at this point, it doesn't really matter. So let's just make sure we have a little bit of everything on each one. By the way, this tastes heavenly. Yes, I tasted the batter. Who doesn't do that? And I'm going to pop these at a 350-degree oven until it's ready. I'm going to check it at the half an hour mark. Bang it, remove any air pockets. And that's it. We're going at 350 degrees. Hopefully half an hour. I'll let you know. In the meantime, we're going to start making our icing for this cake. And for the icing, you're going to need 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter, 5 cups of 10x sugar. There's only 2 in here. I'll keep adding the rest. In the back, you have 2 tablespoons of coconut milk with about a teaspoon of vanilla extract and about a teaspoon of coconut extract. We're also going to be adding about a pinch of salt. And we will be using some shredded coconut, which is going to be used later to coat the cake with. So let's begin this. We're going to take in our mixer with the paddle, we're going to add our cream cheese and our butter completely. And we're going to start beating this alone until it is completely creamy before adding my sugar. So we're going to go ahead. It shouldn't take long because my ingredients are fairly soft. So we're going to let it mix on medium-high for about, let's say, 2 minutes. So at this point, we're going to just literally lower the temp. Lower your machine. What am I doing? To a very low, and we're going to start adding our sugar a little bit at a time. I'm adding 2 cups right now, and I'm going to let it mix on low until it is incorporated. And while I get my other 2 cups ready, at this point, we stop the machine. No, don't stop it. Just keep it going. Add the other 2 cups. So we have a total of 4 cups at this moment. We're going to add our 5th cup. We're going to check it to see if I need, after adding my last cup, I'm going to see if I need more of it or not. At the this point, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. Yes, salt, because salt totally brings the flavors out. And we're gonna add our coconut milk, vanilla, and coconut extracts. We're gonna let this go for a sec. And I could tell automatically that it's too soft. So I'm gonna stop the machine and I will be adding another cup or so of confectioner sugar or 10x sugar. I'm continuing to mix at this point. I added 1 more cup of sugar. And I'm going to stop for a minute and I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything situated here. I want to taste this. Why do I want to taste it? Because I want to know if it needs a little bit more salt. But before I do that, I want to incorporate all the sugar that's on the sides directly in. Let's give this another quick little stir. Stop my machine. And then, yes. Oh, this is amazing. This is really good. We don't want to add it. We don't want to make it more or less. We don't want to make it too thick. It tastes like coconut. It's soft, but remember, we're gonna cover the cake with coconut flakes. So this is, I think, perfect consistency. At this point, we're gonna put this into my refrigerator to let it set a little bit while our cake comes out of the oven and it gets cold, and I will be back showing you exactly how I'm gonna put this cake together. Okay, so the cakes are completely cooled and out of the oven. At this point, I'm just simply going to try to remove a little bit off the top, just because I want the surface to be a little bit rough so it can hold the filling that I'm about to put in. Same filling that we're doing, it's the same exact frosting that we used a minute ago. Simply now, simple. We are putting some of that icing right in the middle. As much as you would like to add. To finish that off right there is that we're going to add just a little sprinkle of coconut. We're now going to add our second layer right on top. And again, we're going to grab the knife once again and we are going to remove a little bit of that layer off of the top of the cake. Yes. Next is that we're going to add yet again some of our beautiful icing right on top and just spread it quickly. This does not have to look cute because this was going to be on the inside. It's easy if you just move your plate around while you do that. Last but not least is that we're going to add our last cake layer. Except that the last layer, instead of putting it this way, I'm going to give it a turn and I'm just going to put it this way. So that way, this side will be completely flat. You follow me? Now just move it around. Make sure you have it where you need it. And now comes the fun part. Remember one thing about this cake. Yes, this is the first time I've tried this recipe, but it's not my first cake. So what I'm going to do is, doesn't have to be perfect because of the fact that we are going to add shredded coconut. We're going to start from the sides and just start by filling the sides with our cream cheese, coconut cream cheese icing. And we continue little by little until we cover the whole cake. we continue just adding icing until we have the cake covered. Like I said, this does not have to be perfect. I'll explain in a second why it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it is covered, oh my goodness. We just don't want no cake to show. I'm gonna grab the excess and just give it a quick swirl around the side. Why don't we need for it to be perfect? I'll explain right this second. This cake is going to be completely covered in coconut. Yes, in coconut. Continue adding enough coconut until the whole cake is covered. Sides included. So not just the top, but on the sides as well. So the undersides is simple. All we're going to do is grab some in your hand and start putting it and moving it all the way around. That way everything has coconut in it. This cake is going to be so full of coconut flavor. People are going to be asking you to make this for them in every occasion. Oh yeah. One little bit and that is it. Guess what? Look at our cake. It's looking beautiful. So there you have our coconut cake. And all we need now is to open up this cake and have a slice. So all we need now is to cut open a slice of this cake. This is gonna be, oh my God, good. Oh my goodness. You know what you need with this? Is some strawberries. But I don't have any. And because I have no strawberries, we will be using. Oh yes. Take a look at this. Our beautiful cake with our beautiful slice of heavenly cake. All we need now is a fork and a mouth willing to taste this. Oh yes, super moist and delicious. Yes, amazing coconut cake done my way in my kitchen. Now I am going to give you a tip. If you'd rather not have the cake be too sweet, instead of adding sweetened coconut, add desiccated coconut, which is unsweetened coconut. That way it will be, you have the unsweetened on top with the sweet icing. I think it's perfect the way it is, but just a tip. Thanks again for spending another day with me, trying a new recipe. My name is Lala, and welcome to my kitchen.